Good morning, everyone. My name is Veritas, and welcome back to Destiny. Now, today is Friday, Xur Day. Xur has arrived in the tower, your weekly exotic merchant. So, yeah, we're gonna go head over and see where he's at. And I just spent the last couple minutes actually looking for him. It's been a couple weeks since I've actually wandered about looking for Xur. So I figured I'd go look for him, find him organically, and then show you guys where he's at. So he's down here in the Hunter Hangout, the tower hangar thing, the ship nonsense. I haven't looked at what he's got yet because I always enjoy the reveal, and then we'll go ahead and look at the stats and things like that. If, of course, Bungie's API is up. So what do we have this week? He's selling. Actually, it's funny. He's selling my loadout. He's got the Void Fang and the Mida. These are like the things that I usually have on. This is my all of the first 2 years of Destiny loadout right here is the Void Fang and the Mida. He also very rarely sells Void Fang. I think he's only ever sold it one other time. So he's got the Void Fang vestments and the Mida. I would just pick these two up because they're amazing and I love them. They're also like my quintessential item. These are like my two exotics in the game. So if you want to be just like me, walk, talk, and act just like me, then you can use these things. You know, strutting your robes and killing aliens just like me, go ahead and grab those. He's also got the Armamentarium, or the Amanama Ding Dong, or the Amanama and the Sealed Ahimkara's Grasp, which are hunter gauntlets that I like very much. They actually look very good. He has Heart of Gold, which turns truth golden, and he has the Iconoclast, which is actually one of the, it makes Invective look like IS Luna. So those two things are also for sale there. My silver dust is on my hunter right now, so I can't actually see if I can buy any of that. I probably can't. But yeah, so I guess we can go ahead and talk about if this is good. So let me shift over on my computer, see if I can get Xur's rolls. If not, then we will again be playing the game where we don't know anything about Xur. So hopefully we can get some Xur information for you guys this week. Last week, actually, those transversive steps were really good. I don't think that there's any Xur information on here right now, which is unfortunate. I'd like to actually have some Xur information, but I think it's still disabled until next week. Yeah, it's still disabled until next week. Bungie has turned off vendor information on their website, so anything that uses their website, which is how the external programs like DIM and Tower Ghost and Ishtar Commander can actually access your inventory and move things around, is because they're really just different ways to talk to Bungie.net. You're essentially still moving things on Bungie.net, just in a less CPU intensive way, but they have vendors disabled, and they've had them disabled since Rise of Iron came out, because there is technically a big secret being revealed when what's it called? Iron Banner comes around next week on the 4th. So they don't want anyone knowing about this secret, even though a lot of people already do. And it's a big spoiler, it's a big thing, so I'm not going to actually say what it is, but there's a reason why the vendors are hidden. So just know that. So that's why I can't actually tell you how good these are, but let's go through each of them and what they do, and I will tell you if they're worthwhile, even if they're not great stat-wise, even if they don't have as much discipline, as much intellect, as much strength as they could have, these weapons and armor are still pretty good, so let's go over and see what they do. So the Armamentarium is a Titan exotic chest piece, and it allows you to hold an additional grenade charge. It also is partial to discipline, as you can see here, so every single roll you get, if you reroll it, will have discipline on it, regardless of what other split you get. This is pretty much a discipline, this is a grenade chest piece. This is also known as the TN titties, I think, by the less desirable parts of the community. So this also allows you to have special ammo and heavy ammo, so this would be good if you're using something like Yallarhorn. This would allow you to get up to 7 rockets. It's not, specific to a machine gun or rocket launcher, it's just heavy ammo, or special ammo. Then you have arc recovery on this one, so increased recovery for 5 seconds after taking arc damage. That's not great. And arc armor, this does nothing, so I would run arc recovery if you needed it, but yeah. So this one's not super good, but it exists, so it's there if you want it. The Sealed Ahimkara Grasp are actually one of the coolest looking exotics in the game. For hunters at least, I would recommend buying these regardless of how bad this roll is, and it doesn't look great, to be honest with you. But 53, 53, let's see what my gauntlets max out at. I cannot hit my inventory. There we go. Let's see here. 51. Maybe they are good. I think these gauntlets are bad, though. 52, 53, 53. So it's probably about an 80 to 90% stat roll on these Aham Kargaras. So I would pick them up. I'd grab them. I like these a lot. I use them on my hunter a lot. And Nightmare Fuel, gain an additional melee charge, melee damage, has a chance to automatically reload your primary weapon. So when you stab things with the hunter, you have a chance to reload your primary instantaneously. This has intellect and strength on it, so increase intellect, increase strength. Switchblade, decreases melee cooldown and momentum transfer, gain bonus melee on grenade hits, so those will change if you re-roll this. Sniper rifle loader, reload snipers faster, and rocket launcher loader reloads rocket launchers. So this would actually be pretty good if you have a sniper or a Gjallarhorn or something like that. These are pretty fucking good. I actually think Nightmare Fuel and the automatic primary loader, I think that actually will proc. That will actually work if you are using throwing knives. So if you throw a knife at something and it hurts them, I think it actually makes the thing happen. So let's go into one of my favorite exotics in the game, the Void Fang Vestments. So this is the Void Fang Vestments. These are actually one of my favorite exotics in the game. I love these, and I'm going to tell you a little secret about them once I get done explaining what they do. Hungering Void. Spawn with additional grenade charge, and your Axiom Bolt grenade splits into additional Seekers. So if you are on a Void Walker, subclass, and you are in the Crucible, that means every time you die and respawn, you have another Axiom Bolt. What Axiom Bolt does, it's essentially like it's like a fire bolt, it's like an arc bolt. This is Axiom Bolt. A bolt of void light will fork out into smaller bolts and impact, which seek towards enemies. So you throw it, it scans the area and spawns little tiny orbs of void energy that seek out enemies around corners and stuff, and you can make them, go further with, additional tracking and things like that. But I love this grenade. It's fantastic everywhere, and what Void Fang Vestments does is it actually gives you an additional one. So instead of having just 2 little Seekers chasing after people, you can actually get 3. And you also get, full grenade energy on spawn. Now, what's amazing about this chest piece is if you use it with the Memory of Fellwinter perk, or Memory of Fellwinter artifact, where you lose your super but gain an additional melee and grenade, and a small boost to all stats, yada yada. This thing is insane on a Voidwalker in the Crucible because you can spawn initially in the very beginning with 3 Seeker grenades, which essentially will hit 6 people. And then if you're running something like an energy drain melee, your grenade regeneration will come back very quickly because of the buffed and Voidwalkers. So you end up starting the game with 2 grenades that are already very strong, and then you have 2 melees to regenerate those 2 grenades. And then you just use those 2 grenades again, die, and you respawn with one of them. So it's kind of insane. It's kind of fun, actually. It's not broken because it's a Memory of Fellwinter, so that's how it's working as intended. But it is funny to watch it work. But I would recommend picking one of these up. I love this chest piece. So what does this also have on it? Now, it's scout rifle ammo and sniper rifle ammo. So this is pretty good in here for most, I think most precision people would like scout and sniper. It also has solar burn defense and void armor. Okay, let's talk about this real quick. So reduced incoming solar burn damage. Who turned on the fucking jukebox? That's funny. I have to turn my TV down. I just suddenly heard music playing in the background. So let's talk about this. So you saw in the armamentarium how it had like reduced, increased recovery or whatever. This is the one you want right here, this burn damage. So reduces incoming solar burn damage. This will actually let you survive like a shot or 2, maybe even 3 more from a void enemy if they're using splash damage. Like if you're fighting like a Hydra, you can take 2 or 3 more bolts of Hydra explosive damage before it actually hurts you. If Hydra shot explosive, they shoot void. Or if they shot solar, but they shoot void. Regardless, this is actually a very, very good armor. I would use this perk if you ever see burn defense. I would always use burn defense. It's also kind of nice it has void armor on it because it is the void subclass, but void armor does very little compared to burn defense. So that's the Void Fang Vestments. Moving into the Might of multi-tool. This is my favorite scout rifle in the game. It's also my favorite primary, and it's also pretty much my favorite weapon, so I'm always going to be biased towards this puppy right here. But here we have, all these ballistics nonsense. We have Third Eye moving down through this tree. We've got Field Scout, Quick Draw, and Lightweight, and of course the multi-tool perk, where this weapon boosts movement speed and fires on a hair trigger. So we also have Special Operations, which is this nice, Splinter Cell-esque skin, and then my favorite one that I don't have yet, which is Arctic Survivalist. Those are the two ornaments you can get on that if you get so lucky to have them. So yeah, I would pick up this scout rifle. It's fantastic. I love it. I would always be partial to Mida if it existed. His weapon ornaments, like I said earlier, are making Truth gold and making Invective look like IS Luna. Moving down here, in the curio section, again, we encounter the famous Bungie consistency problem. We have the Emerald Coil, quote unquote, and we have the Stealth Drive, unquote unquote. So this thing will turn a rare Sparrow into a legendary with a green exhaust trail, and this one will turn a rare Sparrow into a legendary with a pink/red exhaust trail. Moving in here, we have heavy ammo synthesis. These can be used to essentially, what are they used for? When you're in a combat zone, you can use these to refill your heavy ammo entirely. These do not work inside of the Crucible, but the main use for these things is you can buy them and then use them for faction reputation. 100 of these will rank up your faction if you do not have the exotic class item that gives you a 10% buff. With the exotic class item, it's more like 88 of these. So this is the best way possible to force faction rank up packages in your faction, which is one of the only ways to get above 365 light. The other being exotic engrams, exotic drops, and pretty much faction packages and the raid. This is pretty much your one and only other source of it, so if you have an abundance of strange coins like I do, go ahead and grab a couple hundred of these, and yeah, so it takes about 33 strange coins to level up a faction reputation rank. So if you need some rep, go ahead and do that. I actually just need some synth to begin with, so I'm going to spend the next little bit after this video's going up buying some more of these. I'll probably spend down to 750 coins, and then we'll call it a week or whatever. But I had 947 coins, so we're not going to move on. So you can use these to rank up your factions. This is the best way to rank up factions, things like that. So I'll buy one more, and then we'll move on to the 3 of coins here. I'll buy one more, and then we'll move on to the 3 of coins here. I said fucking. Alright, so 3 of coins can be used. It's a stackable effect that increases the chance that the next ultra you defeat or crucible match you complete will award an exotic engram. What this actually means is you use one of these, you go into your inventory, you burn it. See, I have nothing there. You burn it. You burn it. Boom, you used one of them, you now have exotic particles. Grants a chance to receive an exotic engram on the next ultra you kill or crucible once you complete. That is actually what it does. So while you have this little buff of the 9 here, you're going to go ahead and kill a named enemy that isn't Omnigul or the Scion Flayers. So kill like pretty much anything in a Heroic Strike playlist, any big boss at the end of a story mission, anything like that. Go ahead, or a raid boss, things like that. Go ahead and kill a big named bad guy or bad girl, and they have a chance of dropping an exotic engram. You can also have the same chance by going into Crucible and finishing a match. If you do not get an exotic to drop, that's fine. That just means the next time you use one of these, it will have an increased chance. So say the first one you burn is a 5% chance of the next ultra dropping a thing. The next one you burn is like, say, a 10% chance. And if you still don't get one, the next one you burn is a 15% chance. So it works like that. It works so it burns itself. Every time you use one and don't get something, the next one is more effective. That way you will eventually be guaranteed an exotic. That way no one goes home hungry, no one goes home sad, that kind of stuff. Sometimes it takes longer. You can get, you could get 5 exotics from 5 3 of coins. You could get 5 exotics from 105 3 of coins. But it's just up to you and how the game wants to screw you. Okay, so moving away from these 3 of coin nonsense things, the last item we have here is the glass needle item. These things I do not recommend to people unless they are someone like me that has what you can see there as an exorbitant amount of material. Nearly 3,000 motes. I had, nearly 1,000 coins and almost 100 exotic shards. I would not recommend these to people that have less than probably 50 of each of these, if, whatever, unless you know exactly what you're doing here. So what glass needles do is they allow you to reroll exotic armor. So say you have these TN titties, you don't necessarily like the fact that they have, sniper whatever on it. Let's go to one that actually has something different. So let's go to grasps. You don't like the fact that these actually have, they don't have, I think these are still stuck like that. Fuck, we have to find something that isn't permanent. What's not permanent. Let's go in here and try these. So you have these Sunbreaker gauntlets, and you don't like the fact that they have scout rifle loader, fusion rifle loader, you don't like impact induction, you don't like energy projection, you don't like increased intellect and increased discipline, and you want different stats here. So you'll go down here if you have some glass needles. You see I need some of those, I have in my other character. You go down here with glass needles and you will click this, you'll click this, and it will change all of these to different perks that this thing can have. Could it not change at all? Yes, because it's possible that it will RNG back to itself, but it will also re-roll this entire thing and basically make it something different. Now, be mindful, not every exotic armor can get every exotic perk or just perk in general, and a lot of things are actually partial discipline, a lot of things are partial strength, partial intellect, and so on. Like the Void Fang Vestments are a grenade-based exotic, so you see here this one has discipline strength, this has intellect discipline, it will always have discipline, things like that. So be mindful of that when you're trying to go and re-roll things. You might want to go to bungie.net/armory, type in the item you're trying to re-roll and see what perks it can possibly get before you burn a bunch of your coins, modes, and exotic shards on that. And then down here we have the motes of light transfer, so you can get you can get a mote for 2 coins, which is an awful exchange rate. I would never recommend doing that to anybody, but that's where Xur is, and that's what Xur has. Also, he has a legacy engram here up in the top. This turns into a year 1 item as well. This will max out at 170 light. This turns into year 1 things. It is a legacy engram. It does not turn into new things. Do not waste nearly 30 coins on an engram. I actually said that blatantly in a video last week, and then I talked to Kat like an hour later, and he was like, when I was up at 5 this morning before work, and in my exhausted, half sleep state, whatever nonsense, he's like, I bought 2 of those engrams and they turned into garbage. And I'm like, you got rid of 30 you got rid of, what would that be, like 58 coins because you were just tired? And he's like, yeah, and then I couldn't buy heavy ammo synth. So don't be like him. Don't be Bob. Don't buy the legacy engram. It's year 3. You don't need it. You really don't need it. But that's where Xur is. That's what Xur's got. My recommendations are to buy Void Fang and Mida. I would also grab the Sula Hamkara Grass. So pretty much these 3 things I'd pick up, and if you want to play around with them, if you have the coins for it. I know not everyone has an exorbitant amount of coins, but with Rise of Iron, I think you got a lot of coins regardless, so you should be fine. This video's gone on for 20 minutes now, which is a little insane for a Xur video, but it's a good week, and I wanted to explain how things worked, so that's why the video is 20 minutes long. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, I very much appreciate it, and until the next video, where I will probably still be buying heavy ammo synthesis, have a great day, everyone.